Blog Talk Radio.
Let's jazz it up. Blog Talk Radio. I am your host with the most, Brenda Moss, a.k.a. Lady Diva. I have with me this evening the best of Walter Beasley, all-time great jazz artist, composer, and performer. Welcome, Walter. Are you with me this evening?
I am with you, Lady Diva. How you doing this evening?
All right. My, I've been chasing after you for several months. You're a busy man.
Well, you got me now.
Yeah. You are a busy man, and you've been in the music industry for many, many years. Tell briefly about yourself to those who haven't heard about you. Just a brief story on growing up in your hometown and how you got started in your musical journey.
Well, I'm Walter Beasley. Son of June and Walter Beasley, born and raised in Imperial Valley of California. I started playing music when I was around 9 years old, because I wanted to do something that made me kind of stick out, and I loved the way people reacted to Mr. Cannon and Derek and others who were a little, Derek was older than I. And his father was a jazz legend in our community, so I wanted to be like them. So I wanted to play trumpet, but I didn't play it very well. So I switched. Well, actually, I was switched over to saxophone because I didn't play it well at all. And I just kept working at it, and I practiced and I listened, and I got better. And the better I got, the more it was evident that I had something special. And I wanted to pursue it, and all I wanted to do after a certain point was express myself to the best of my ability, and keep growing in that endeavor. And I ended up on the East Coast at Berklee College of Music, where I studied alongside Branford Marcellus, Rochelle Farrell, Mark Ledford, rest in peace. Will Reinhardt, who went on the road with Rick James. Gene Jackson, played with Herbie Hancock. Just a slew of people who came in at that same year, and we all did pretty well. And too many names to even, I shouldn't have gone that road because, many more musicians were even more talented and had more ability than I, and people would never know their names. So once I got to Boston, I realized, I was like a grain of sand, and it was just, I was humble, but at the same time, it encouraged me to work harder. And then as I graduated from Berkeley, they asked me to teach there, and I taught there for 35 years as a recording artist, and I ended up being the highest selling recording artist / full-time professor in history. And I quit there about a year and a half or 2 years ago simply because I wanted to concentrate on my career, on my businesses, and the direction of the institution just wasn't musical, in my opinion, and I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore. So now it's all about me. It's all about my career, all about my music, and all about, what I'm able to accomplish, and God willing, what kind of legacy I leave.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you. Now, the reason for the Best of Walter Beasley album, can you give us a little story why you come up with all the favorite grand hits in that one big album there?
I just wanted to say thank you, to the people who have supported me all these years. I started my own record label about 20 years ago, and I did it because I wasn't comfortable with record company executives. I never really was comfortable with them. There were a couple that Dave Love is one from Heads Up. I really liked the way he dealt with musicians and dealt with business. But there was just, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way they talked to us. I didn't like the way they talked down to us. I didn't like the way they thought that basically we could make a business decision because we were musicians. And I took the matter into my own hands. And I started my own label. And I would have partnerships with other labels, but I wouldn't sign my masters over anything like that. So after about 20 years, I looked back and I said, you know what? I have a nice catalog, and I want to be able to give that to the people and give it to them the way I want to give it to them. So these songs kind of spoke to me, and a couple of songs that people haven't heard yet, like "Come On Over," the first one you played is doing very well.
Yeah.
On Smooth Jazz Radio.
Yeah.
And the other one is Raheem Devon, and I did a collaboration called Late Night Lover, and that's getting played on Heart and Soul and doing well as well. So I'm just very blessed to be able to, at this point in my career, be able to release it, to have new material on it, and to still have a career 30 years later after I decided to put out my own record label. I'm just very, very blessed and very honored and very humbled and just so very pleased with the reception and the attention this is getting from my fans.
Wow. You were the first contemporary smooth jazz artist I looked upon. And, of course, there were others that followed. You were so experienced, and you play it like it's so simple and smooth, your melody. Yeah, and I got hooked onto that, and I'm about to break my neck every time you come out with something new. So you are an amazing, talented man, and I really appreciate your participation on my show. What is the story with Barack's Groove? How did you come up with the title of that song and the melody?
Actually, that's a song that was written by Phil Davis, a great writer producer from Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, he played with Michelle Farrell, myself, and George Duke, and a lot of other people. But he sent it to me, and we didn't have a title for it. So I was getting ready to go into the studio, and I happened to walk through the door, and the mute button was on, and I saw this dude, dancing on the Ellen show. So I'm like, what is this? And the music for Barack's Groove was playing because I was getting ready to go in the studio, and he was dancing. And he was dancing and kind of, locking up with the groove. And I said, "Oh man, this is perfect." And I said, "This is Barack's Groove." So that's how we named it. So, I think it's, and you know what it reminds? In a weird kind of way, it reminds me of him. When it comes on, it's cool, it's slick. It's just, you can actually see him grooving to it, you know,
Yeah.
use your imagination.
Yeah. Every time I play it. Hey, by the way, I'm going to spin Barack's groove. You stay right there, and we'll be right back. Wow. My goodness. That's Barack's Groove by Walter Beasley. Thank you, everyone, for still tuning in here to Let's Jazz It Up. Feel free to call on the show to speak with Walter Beasley at 657-383-0771. Oh, my goodness, Walter. Oh, my goodness. You've been in the music industry over many years. What is your secret to longevity and success in your music? You have a little ancient shot.
A little what?
What, you got a little secret to your success here?
Yeah, very hard work. How do I put this? I come from a smaller town in California, so when I got to Boston, and I remember like it was yesterday, flying into the airport in Boston, Massachusetts, and looking around, and they had these old style houses packed on top of each other, not too much land and all that.